He was watching YouTube videos on his phone, just casually scrolling, while he dismembered her body. That is not a rumor. That is in the court documents. And that is only one of 7 details about the murder of Kristina Joksimovic that the mainstream media has barely touched. Stay with me, because what the autopsy revealed, what was surgically removed from her body, and what her own father walked in to find, changes everything about how we need to talk about this case. Before we go any further, I need you to know who Kristina Joksimovic was, because she was not just a headline. Kristina was 38 years old. She was a mom of 2 daughters. She had built an entire career mentoring other women. She ran her own catwalk coaching business and personally mentored model Dominique Rinderknecht for the Miss Universe pageant in 2013. She had been crowned Miss Northwest Switzerland, and in 2007 she was a finalist for Miss Switzerland. She was accomplished. She was building something. She was raising 2 little girls. And she was trying to leave a man who, according to people closest to her, had been slowly trying to erase her for years. Here is what we are about to find out in this video. We know he killed her. We know how he killed her. But the question that the forensic investigators and medical examiners could not stop asking and could not fully answer is this. Why was one specific organ carefully and surgically removed from her body while everything else was destroyed? Why did he take that one thing? And the second question nobody seems to be asking loudly enough. What did the people around her see in Marc Rieben before that February night that they now cannot unsee? Stay with me through all 7 details, because it is only at detail number 5 that those 2 questions start to connect. Detail number 1. The fight that triggered this was about divorce, custody, and money. On February 13, 2022, Kristina and Marc Rieben had an explosive argument, one that prosecutors say covered 3 specific pressure points: their impending divorce, custody of their 2 daughters, and financial issues. Kristina had made the decision. She wanted out. She told him. According to the Tagesanzeiger, that decision, that act of Kristina choosing herself, is what prosecutors believe set this in motion. A family friend who knew the couple told the Daily Mail, and I want you to hear this directly. He wanted Kristina to disappear. That is a quote. Someone who knew this man said those words out loud before any of this happened. He wanted her to disappear. And then she did. Detail number 2. The cause of death and how it happened. According to court records obtained by the Daily Mail, Rieben grabbed Kristina by the throat and threw her against the wall during that argument. He then strangled her to death using what records describe as a ribbon-like object. She was beaten and strangled. That is the official cause of death. Now, Marc Rieben, who was charged with murder in December, has told investigators this was self-defense. Self-defense. A man who outweighs a woman, throws her against a wall, and uses a ribbon-like object to strangle her to death. That is the self-defense he is claiming in court. I need you to hold that claim in your mind through every detail that follows, because it becomes more offensive with every piece of forensic evidence we look at. Detail number 3. What he did to her body after she was dead. And I have to be honest with you, this is the part that stopped me cold when I read the autopsy report. Rieben did not just hide her body. According to prosecutors and court documents, he snapped her hip joints out of their sockets. He removed her upper left arm, both forearms, her right lower leg. He then severed her spine to detach her head. Several of her body parts were then put into an industrial blender, pureed. That is the word officials used, pureed. and then dissolved in a chemical solution. And while all of this was happening, while he was doing all of this, he was watching YouTube videos on his phone. That detail is in the court documents. He was on his phone, watching videos, like it was nothing. Detail number 4. The one thing that was not destroyed, the one thing that was surgically, deliberately taken. Medical examiners noted that amid the full-scale dismemberment of Kristina's body, there was one organ that was carefully removed intact: her womb, the sole organ extracted from her torso. And I want you to hear the exact language that medical experts used when they described this in their findings. They called it a deliberate mutilation or ritualized degradation of the body. Those are not my words. That is the medical examiner's language. Ritualized degradation. Her womb, the part of her body that carried her 2 daughters, deliberately and carefully removed while everything else was destroyed. Investigators have not publicly offered a definitive explanation for why. And that is the question that I believe this case cannot close without answering. Detail number 5. How this was discovered. And this is where the story goes from horrifying to absolutely devastating. While all of this was happening, Rieben was telling people, including family, that he did not know where Kristina was. A close family friend told the Daily Mail, Rieben kept insisting he didn't know where Kristina was and claimed she would just leave sometimes. He performed confusion. He performed concern. And then Kristina's father went to check on her. He went to her home. And in the laundry room, he found a black bin bag. When he opened it, and I need you to understand what this man had to experience, he found his daughter's severed head. Her hair was still attached. Her father found her. Like that. No parent should ever have to carry that. No parent. And I want that to land before we move to anything else. Detail number 6. The warning signs that the people around them reportedly saw, and what they mean now. The family friend who spoke to the Daily Mail did not mince words about Marc Rieben. They said he never suited Kristina, that he came across as introverted, critical, and arrogant. They described him as derogatory with her, with gestures, words, and even his tone. And then they said the sentence I cannot stop thinking about. He wanted Kristina to disappear. That is someone who knew this couple saying that out loud, before February 13th, before any of this. The people around her saw something in him. And this is what I need this community to talk about. Because when we say we missed the warning signs, sometimes the truth is the warning signs were visible. The question is whether anyone around her had the language, the support, or the resources to act on what they saw. Detail number 7. Where this case stands right now, and what Marc Rieben is telling a court. Rieben was formally charged with murder in December and is scheduled to appear in court. His defense, the position he is walking into that courtroom with, is that killing Kristina Joksimovic was self-defense. Self-defense. After strangling her with a ribbon, after snapping her hip joints from their sockets, after removing her womb, after blending her limbs, after dissolving her remains, after lying to her family about where she was, after her father opened a black bin bag in a laundry room. That is his defense. And the only question that matters right now is whether a court is going to look at every one of those 7 details and hand Kristina's daughters and her father the accountability they deserve. Kristina Joksimovic was 38 years old. She was building a life coaching other women into their confidence, into their power, into their potential. She was raising 2 daughters, She made a brave decision to leave, and that decision should have led to her freedom, not to what happened in that laundry room. This case is not over. The trial is coming, and I will be here covering every development as it drops. But before I go, I need you to answer something in the comments, and I mean this seriously. Because this is the detail that keeps coming back to me. People who knew Marc Rieben described him, before any of this, as someone who wanted Kristina to disappear. So I am asking you, what do you think the people closest to her needed, whether that was language, resources, or community, to act on what they were already seeing? Drop your honest answer below, and make sure you are subscribed with the bell on, because the moment the next development drops in this case, you will be the first to know.